with another Snow White trailer that just came out of the deep dungeons of Disney's magical castle, revealing more about the movie and the updated story. I thought, why not point out a few key scenes in this new trailer and compare them to the cartoon, and explain why I don't think that the movie is going to work, aside from being a redundant copy of an already great depiction of one of the Brothers Grimm's famous folklore. To start things off, got to start with the most famous scene and saying from the beloved cartoon. And no, the saying is not
"Mirror, mirror on the wall."
The saying is
Magic mirror on the wall.
No way.
Well, anyways, let's start with the cartoon. Just from the mise-en-scène itself, it establishes a lot about the queen. She is evil, has a malicious intent, and dabbles in black magic, as we later can confirm when she goes and makes her potion. The framing here also adds some thought went into it. Mirror is centered in the frame, which is a common thing we do see in thrillers and horror movies. It gives us a sense of an easement, an ominous feeling. As for the movie, well, I'm already laughing at the great CGI involved here. I mean, come on, guys. You guys have months, even close to a year for the reshoots and redoing the effects, and this is the best that you guys could do?
Disappointed!
Anyway, aside from the horrendous CGI, the shot here is very basic, nothing special. Framing is an inferior choice to the cartoon. It doesn't even have that ominous vibe or unease feeling here. Like, why do we have this over-the-shoulder shot here? Over-the-shoulder shots are usually to orient the audience and let them know where each character is relative to another. We already know who's involved here, the CGI mirror and the queen. So I do not know the purpose or the reason for why the director and cinematographer chose this kind of shot for this scene. You know what's sometimes a problem with remakes like this? Overcomplicating plots and stories. The cartoon kept things really simple by just having the motive for the queen just to kill Snow White because of a beauty jealousy. While in the movie, it would actually seem like the queen would want to kill Snow White because she's instead a threat to her throne, rather than jealous of her beauty. I mean, let's face it, I think we all know who's the fairest of them all, if not at least not looking snobbish and entitled.
Yeah. Weird.
Well, on the topic of the fairest of them all, we then get the queen actually admitting Snow White's presence, actually making her jealous of her beauty.
Want to be the fairest of them all.
Isn't this kind of a stupid move too, queen? Especially when you're planning to have the huntsman kill her? You're literally showing her signs of wanting to get rid of her. Well, I guess the only explanation is that Snow White is either too innocent or too naive to see things like that. So much for an updated story for the modern audience then.
Wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess.
Of course, we now get to the 7 people of whatever. Oh, I meant the 7 dwarfs. Actually, I meant the 7 CGI dwarfs. Besides the horrible CGI here again, I have a few problems with the dwarf encounter scene, especially when they're in their PJs when investigating who's in their bed. In the cartoon, they came back and noticed that their house wasn't as they left it. Naturally, they were being very cautious and wanting to find out who's the intruder. In this movie, it seems like there are 2 possibilities. 1. Snow White breaks in, welcomes herself into their home, then goes to have a nap because of a long day, I guess. This is most likely so as how the trailer is put together. Number 2 is Snow White welcomes herself, cleans up and cooks like in the cartoon, then goes off for a nap. If number 1 were to be the case, you're telling me that they have their PJs stored somewhere downstairs in the living room? Yeah, makes a lot of sense, I guess. If their PJs were on their bed, well, then shouldn't they be in their outdoor outfits instead of in PJs? Some of you might even argue that that's just their undergarment they wear under their outfits. If so, why? Given that it doesn't seem like it's a cold season or even a windy season, wouldn't it be rather hot and inconvenient to be working in the mine with at least 2 layers on? If it was number 2, then wouldn't they have noticed something is already strange when entering in their home? Just like in the cartoon? They wouldn't be just walking into their bedroom and then be surprised to see something on their bed. Either way, it just overcomplicates what was an already well-established scene in the cartoon. The dwarfs had reason to be acting the way they were, and the filmmaker then actually made the whole scene entertaining. Not to mention visually okay to the eyes at least. And also, was the ghost joke supposed to land or to make us hate Grumpy even more?
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
What the hell?
We then get to the part in the trailer where she asks the dwarfs to help fight the queen.
You're gonna need your help.
You serious?
First off, why? You have an entire kingdom of supposedly oppressed civilians to help you do that already. And if they're not enough to fight against the queen, what makes you think 7 additional non-magical dwarfs can help add to your army power? The dwarves in the cartoon went against the queen because of them knowing Snow White is in danger, and that they care enough to risk their lives to save her. They bonded, they formed a good connection and a relationship. In the movie, it's almost like portraying the dwarves as Snow White's servants, or rather dogs that she can just command and have them do anything. To summarize it all, Snow White of 2025 just seems more than ever an unnecessary adaptation. You have what seems to be an inferior, overly complicated story accompanied with performances that is A for effort level at best, and visual effects that somehow look worse than the Titanic. And that movie was made in the late 90s. I doubt that this movie would even turn out a profit for Disney, and instead just be another live-action remake flop.
One more thing.
If Andrew scenes could get cut, who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. Hollywood, baby.